shit. And to do that and still be here is just an absolutely remarkable thing. So we've got 4 speakers. If anyone else wants to say something, we'll invite you as long as you can be brief. So, and we'll buzz you off if you're not. So we're going to start off with, we're looking forward to hearing from for a long time. It's Tony Shepherd, our school captain.
Thank you. Thanks everybody. Look, it's not really a night for big speeches. It's really a night for us to catch up with each other individually. But it's a pleasure to be here. I don't know about you guys and the ladies that are here, but it seems a long time, since 40 years since we're in the school hall with the polished concrete floors coming out of the HSC. And I suppose many of us have kids, and some of us, I understand, have grandkids now that are actually going through those studies. But it's interesting as well to see people up for so long and practice almost an elevator pitch. You know, the Silicon Valley thing where you'd have to pitch your business in 30 seconds. And we meet people who haven't seen for 40 years and they say, what have you been doing with yourself? You know? So you've got 30 seconds to come up with it. But speed dating. Yeah, speed dating. Catching up again.
Elevator rides.
Elevator rides. Entirely true. But look, it's wonderful to see everybody here. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder because I think Tony Davick is going to say a few things, and Brett, but there's no doubt that the role that Sponny's played has been absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Lloyd.
I'm going to let Tony share a few thoughts with you in that regard, but all in all, I just hope you have a fantastic night. It's great to see you all again. And I hope you really enjoy yourselves. So have a wonderful night.
Puts the energy into his schooling is what he did. He would have been a brain surgeon. Worked so hard. Now, the difference. In the grade, we've got a wife there, someone's wife, Robin. Now, Bernard Walker has flown from across the world, and he's got something he wants to say. I'll tell you a story about Bernard at the end of this. Thanks, Bernard.
Thanks, Nick. Well, I didn't really want to give any like so-called speech, you know, because you know, you see a lot of guys out there all successful, and there's a few of us here that look like we have to quite cottoned on to money. So anyway, besides all that, you know, where was I? Oh yeah. Congratulations to the 2 teachers actually brave enough to turn up tonight. The other ones, well, they couldn't come, you know. And you know, the Marist guys are actually supposed to teach you about the Lord Jesus Christ, not beat the Christ out of you. Well, that's the end of my jokes. Now, what I'd like to do in 5 minutes' time, before the herd thins out, is I want to tell a true story that happened, like in our school. Maybe actually 2 quick ones to get the ball rolling. So if anyone else can think of a really good story and have it verified. Now the first one's a bit risque because it was on our geography excursion with Mrs. Cheeseman back in the old days. And Mrs. Fox came along. Now everyone remembers Mrs. Fox except for the business guys. And she used to ride up on the blackboard, like, you know, reach up and
Great leg.
whatever she had was pretty good looking, and then she turned around, hey you boys, pay attention! So what happened, we're in the, I think Paul was there, I don't know, Paul's bothered my series. All these Hells Angel bikies pulled up at the Parthenon Milk, serious, in Newcastle, in the main street like that song, Normie. And one of them was in, Mrs. Fox is there buying a milkshake. There's just a couple of us there. And he comes up and he's doing like a reverse Donald Trump. Hey, young troops! And he grabs her. And she turns around and goes, do you mind, young man? And he dropped his helmet in shock, you know. Because she looked kind of older, you know. Anyway, that was one story. That's true. Now the second one involves us all being kept in after school, right? Now this is really like, you know, this story is pretty crazy. We were kept in so long. And I even remember Bill looking through the window to see what the hell was going on. Why were all these kids still in the classroom? I think it was Mr. Kavanagh, but not mentioning any names. I don't want the 18Cs coming back to me, okay? Like, you know, no 18Cs, no names, like no names to mention here. But it was getting pretty late, it was getting pretty dark. And my good mate Mark Rogers put out 10, he tried it on. Please, mister, I have to go home. I have to mow Mrs. Gillespie's lawn. He said, shut up, Rogers, and sit down. Nobody gets out of this class until we've all finished. And then this voice goes on. I think it was Tony Baby. Hey, Mark. He goes, yeah, what do you want, Tony? I hope you got freaking headlights on your lawnmower. And that's it for me. So,
Brother Beardy wanted to find out who the troublemakers were in the class. So he gave the school roll to John O'Neill, the captain, and asked John to mark down who got the cane. And come Thursday, 3 people had cleared out in front, and it was Bernard Walker, Camilla Kogarah and Mark Gilroy. And these 3 made it a competition. So the moment Brother Beardy realised it was a competition, if one of them mucked up, all 3 got the cane. I think Bernard came second.
Lovely, really nice to see you all. Really nice. And graduating class of 1976, welcome to the 40th anniversary. I wrote this on the plane, so I'll make a fool of myself, and I'm not going to make a fool of myself. Now, the first thing I want to say is, just take a moment, gentlemen, and look at the person to the right of you, and then look at the person to the left of you, just briefly. And you'll notice that some of us are not here today. And I'm not talking about the guys who gave us apologies. So I'd like to publicly acknowledge those who have passed on, who never made it to this stage of life. And what I've got here could be wrong, there could be more people, and but I'll just go on who I know. It's Mr. Gerard Curtis and Bob Franco. They were the boys from Penshurst were known as they were, and they passed away. And from Kogarah, I remember my dear friend Mr. Frank Benedict, and he was a great mate of mine in the first year. He died in a tragic accident and left 5 kids, I think. And there was also Mr. Mark McDermott, and there could be more for all we know. So I'd just like us to bow our heads just for a moment and give some respect to those who. And sorry, and of course, I've got that here actually. I'll just jump ahead. Of course, Steve, 3 years ago, a lot of you were there when Steve passed on in February 2013. We'd just bow our heads just for a moment. Thank you very much, and I just thought we just needed to get them into the program. And so what I've put here is please embrace the moment, gentlemen, and reach out to everyone as I would assume a 50th reunion is on the cards, and that's in 10 years' time, 2026. Now, life is a lottery. Have a look around. Some of us may not be here. It's a possibility. Thank you, mate. So,
Another beer.
I think I speak for all the Penshurst boys, you know. Penshurst boys, put your hands up, please.
It's a morale up.
Okay. I think I speak for all the Penshurst boys because the 2 years that we spent at Kogarah, we made some tremendous friends and lifelong friends, and you can see that today in the turnout. Now, there's a couple of things that I'd like to bring up with my memory, because I've got some good memories of what went on in those 2 years. And the first thing is, the very first day, I'll never forget the first day. I'll never forget the first day. First of all, my mother, God bless her, she's still alive, bought me the junior tie. So I went to school the very first day with the junior tie, not the senior tie, and all the locals saw it and just, you know, I had that on instead of the senior tie. And but all the Penshurst boys were gathered by the poplars right next to the senior block. And over by the canteen were all the locals. There was about 70 locals, and all long haired, big guys. And we were just like frightened little pigs, absolutely terrified. And then there was only 2 guys who approached us from the locals, and that was Mark Hartley and Bernard Walker. Now we figured that they were exiled from that group, or they were sent out as scouts. I'm not quite sure. But the one thing that I did notice on that day is, I'll never forget it, the guy that scared me the most of those locals was a big guy with long hair, and his name was Tony Babbitt.
Well,
I gave him a lot of respect because he seemed to be the ringleader.
he just did what he was told.
He was like the godfather, and he had his blinders. He was in the surf crowd, and he was followed by Foggo, Riley, Marr, Rogers, Scully. These guys were all part of his group. But there was another gang that was more terrifying, far more terrifying to me than the big muscled surfer guys. And this group are very scary. Now, in fact, they snatched up Steve Cummins and Kevin Green on the first week of school, this group. And I refer to those gentlemen who used to sit next to Kenny Boothroyd's office in the gym, the nerds. They used to sit down there every break and eat their custard tarts and talk about advanced calculus, quantum physics, applied chemistry, but never talk about women. And I remember that the ringleader seemed to be a little guy with thick glasses and a French accent called Katoy. Then there was a guy called Sloman, Perthman, Wilson, Cummins was already part of it. And while they were always studying on the weekends, we were down at the Mills pub, weren't we, at Ramsgate. Students of Richard's room, please. Okay. Oh yeah, on the very first day, can you remember the very first assembly? And brother Richard Reynolds, all 190 kilogram of him, the biggest man you've ever seen, going up. Morning, boys. Morning, brah. Remember that? Morning, boys. And I never liked him, I'm sorry, I never liked him. He taught me for 2 years economics, but you know, anyway, that was brother Hogjails. The last thing I want to say is, finally, I'll never forget the last day of school. I'll never forget. Now, I did poison Greg O'Donnell before he came in and told everybody he was an absolute arsehole. You're not going to like that. I became one of his best mates, and when we finished school, I was doing my economics. Greg? Yeah, I was doing my economics, and like, he was doing something else, but we finished at the same time. He bought a fake and a spumante, and he drank it outside the hall. Then after that, we went up to the club, to the Kogarah pub, we ordered a schooner of new each, and then we had 17 middies after that. I remember. And then you remember what happened after it, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it's fantastic you're all here, and we share something really special, we do. And I'm just so honoured to be here and all the numbers who have turned up. And it is special to spend your reunion. I've been looking forward to this time for 18 months, ever since Paul organised it.
It's all right. Yeah, thanks, mate.
When he talked about it 18 months ago, and I was
Sure.
always looking forward to it. And again,
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Thank you much. No worries. Thanks, mate.
And all I want to say is I wish you all the best of success and happiness for the next 10 years, so that we all get together and celebrate our 50th in 2026, when we'll all be nearly 70 years of age. Thank you very much.